Hi, everybody. Welcome to Referral to Eddie Family Support, the what, the why, and the how. My name is Karen Thompson. I work with Ask Resource Center, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about how, why, and what family support is within the Eddie program, how to refer to it, and why it's important. First of all, what is family support within the Eddie program? Within our early hearing detection and intervention family support program, we offer lots of different types of products and services. For example, we offer weekly online community posts for families. This is done on the Ask Resource Facebook page. So families throughout the week will see posts about all kinds of other connections to families who also have kids with unique needs, special healthcare needs, or disabilities. But at least once a week, often more frequently, there are posts specific to children who are deaf and hard of hearing. And it allows families an opportunity to connect with each other in the comments section, share the information out within their social networks, and make sure that they're well versed on the things that are going on around Iowa and around the country. I'm so sorry, this page is a little bit fuzzy, but what you're looking at is a slightly fuzzy version of the Eddie Family Support newsletter. And what you can see is a little bit of introductory information at the top, a way to share the information out. And then there are sections that contain information about events, trainings, information about upcoming things going on or important new technologies that families need to know about, updates from us, updates from other partners, and things going on from the state level. Families can sign up for this newsletter, and it's a great way to stay connected with the things going on inside Eddie Family Support and the things going on with other programs that will be relevant to their kiddos across the state and the country. Coming soon is a provider e-news blast. It will be much like the family e-news blast, but it will be shorter in interest of your time and honoring that. And it is intentioned to make sure that you're aware of things that you can pass on to your families and that you're reminded of things about how to refer to family support and other important components of information that are relevant to providers in the Eddie world as well. Another service that's offered through Eddie Family Support are the quarterly webinars. For example, here you see Miss Diane Hansen talking about hearing loss. This is on our YouTube channel and was a webinar that was provided in last year's program. The quarterly family events typically happen live and they're on location around the state. This webinar happens to be being recorded during COVID times. So this is an example of an event that we held last quarter that was virtual. We have Miss Keisha Randall and Mrs. Tammy Hoffman. Keisha is a deaf, hard of hearing adult. She's also a mom, but her children don't have deafness and they're not hard of hearing. She is, however. And Tammy is a mom who has a kiddo who has been diagnosed with deafness, and she was wrestling with some ideas about what his future might look like, how to plug into networks, should she consider cochlear implants, what types of communications should she consider right now, given how young he is. And these two tell their stories about connecting to one another, learning to become self-advocates and advocates for their children, and then a very touching moment that they had together at the Eddie National Conference this past year, facilitated by their travel there from the Eddie Family Support Program, during which we were all sitting down to dinner and they ended up having a very candid conversation about cochlear implant that helped Tammy in her decisions with her own son. Another thing that we do when we have the money available is to partner with other community partners in their events. So oftentimes, again, it's COVID right now, so there's not a whole lot that we can do with these things aside from offer virtual events. But when things are happening around Iowa, for example, we have assisted the Iowa Deaf Blind Services Project in providing their usually annual, sometimes more often than that, trip to the zoo, through either providing opportunities for families to attend, some information and resources while they're there, some specialties and things that they can take with them that might be exciting for their kids, or all of the above. Last year, across a couple of different areas in the state of Iowa, we offered ASL play and sign groups. There were a couple of moms and leaders in communities who were already doing those things, but they wanted a little bit more tool, resource, and ability to network and market a little bit more widely. So we helped support those efforts. And then when somebody approaches us with a really unique idea, certainly if we can help support that, we will. Keisha Randall does summer workshops for Steps by Keisha, where she combines different types of media, be it dance or art or different ways of communicating with reading and with sign language. This year, we're trying a monthly virtual support group pilot. We just wrapped that pilot. It went pretty well, and so now we're going to try to formalize it for the last 3 months of this year's project. So in January, February, and March, we'll be attempting that in the 4 corners of the state to try to connect people that are a little bit more closely together in their rural communities or in their urban communities. Some things that we wrapped up this last year is on our YouTube channel, providing a number of different family stories. Here you can see the beginning of Trevor's story. Trevor Kupka is one of the kiddos whose mom, Allison, participates and runs playgroups and will probably be involved in one of our virtual support groups. She's also been active in a lot of other events and activities, such as the statewide advisory panel, and connecting with other moms to help them sort through things when they have a kid with a new diagnosis. Another thing we attempted last year were some teleconferences where there were some deep dives into specific topics and conversations. While that went really well, some of the feedback that we received is that families really wanted some time to connect to each other. So that's one of the reasons that we'll be blending this together on a virtual platform with a support group model and attempting to combine both a deep dive into some information with maybe a little bit of ASL or ideas that families could use with their kids, and then time for support group, just no holds barred, asking anything that you want to ask, sharing anything that you want to share, and supporting one another. Typically, in a regular year, when there isn't COVID going on, we would have the annual Together We Can, or TWC conference happening through Ask Resource Center. Now, this particular item is not Eddy specific. This is a statewide annual conference held at the fairgrounds on the first Saturday in May every year, except for when it can't because the state is shut down. And this conference is something that all families can attend. However, we often have birds of a feather events going on throughout the day. For example, you're looking at the first page of the 2019 agenda. And on this particular day, we had a luncheon in one of the breakout rooms specific to all of the Eddy families who came, deaf mentors who came to the event as well, and then also some concerned and collaborating other partners and folks were there. Family mentor matching is extremely important for all families who have new diagnoses and feel overwhelmed with what they have going on for their kiddo. And so we train mentors and then match those mentors with families who have similar needs. That mentor might be somebody else who has a child with the same diagnosis. It might be a family member who has a child going through a similar thing. It could be any life experience. You might have a mentor and be a mentor at the same time, or you might have more than one mentor for different things that you're working on or contemplating in your own life or your child's life. So the picture here is an example or a picture of one of the mentor trainings that we had going on in the state last year. We also have a cadre of deaf mentors and deaf role models, and we match them with families as well. Back in 2015, I believe it was, I need to check the date. I might not be correct about that year. But this was our first cadre of folks to go through the Sky High Deaf Mentor curricula. And they are able to be matched with families to share their stories, share possibilities and information with families, and help introduce deaf culture, as well as deaf community, and give families another perspective and another person to talk to about the opportunities that will be available for their own children. Support for family leaders, as I mentioned, Tammy was one of the family leaders that we traveled to the National EDDI meeting last year. We had some extra money, so we were able to send 3 parents. Usually we send 1 parent. We also try to continue support to families who are interested in leadership in lots of other ways, by serving on the EDDI Advisory Committee, or there might be other local committees that we become aware of, the Title V Needs Assessment, different state and local committees that families can serve on to further their leadership opportunities. There are boards in local communities, school boards, comment periods that happen for the various state departments, comment periods that are relevant to new legislation or policy that's being introduced at the state, local, or federal levels. Social media opportunities to connect with one another. A lot of folks will grab the information off of our social media posts and use them in their own chat rooms and groups that they have going on social media. They can also develop local in-person support groups, and we're happy to help them design those groups, get the word out about them, and make sure that other families know. And then finally, being able to tell their stories. Oftentimes that's a great way to heal and feel like you're supporting other families. And so we offer those opportunities across each project year and then post those stories on our YouTube channel. So why is this important? Why does this help families? Well, research shows us that when family professional partnerships are increased, so is experiential knowledge. That increases social networks. And I don't just mean your Facebook page, I mean your actual full social networks. And that when that happens, your ability to access and trust and care and supports and services increases along with it. So an example of that, Linda True provided us, she's an educational audiologist for Heartland AEA, and she provided us an article recently from Ear and Hearing from 2015, where Elizabeth Walker and some other researchers explored the longitudinal value of various different things being involved in getting young children to wear hearing aids. And family support, family mentors in particular, may be one of the things that increases a hearing aid wearing for young children who are hard of hearing, especially if the family is in a lower socioeconomic status. There's also a verified need. These are Iowa numbers for the last 6 months. We've had 40 families referred to EDDI Family Support. Of those, there was enough contact information to be able to reach 28 of those families. 29 were reached, 28 were interested in supports and services of some type. So those 28 families were enrolled in family support services through EDDI, and because of that, there have been 131 instances of support offered. Now that might be anything from checking in to see how the family is doing, matching them with a mentor, making sure that they know about and attend a training event, making sure that they're receiving the online information that they want to have, doing a one-on-one call with them and a family advocate here at Ask Resource Center, and so on. And out of those, 4 were interested in mentor matches. So there were 4 mentor matches made with families. Now one of the things that we're working on doing is getting families used to and interested in those deaf and hard of hearing adults to mentor with and be matched to as well. That's something that we're hoping to really move forward in the next couple of years. So how do you refer? Well, it's really very simple. You can go to askresource.org. If you want to, you can remember /contact, but you don't have to. Go to askresource.org and click on the Contact tab. On the Contact tab, when you scroll just past our contact information, you'll see a great big label on the page that says EDDI Providers. It provides a hyperlink directly to the email address of our staff member who works on EDDI programming. Now, that's not a good place to put personal identifiers of a family or a child that you want to refer. But if you feel like sending case number information about the family or asking our staff person, Jessica Gatuma, to get back to you, she certainly can. Further down, there is a Contact Us page, and you can put information in there if you want to as well. We are working right now on making that contact page tailored to EDDI support questions. That should be ready probably shortly after the start of 2021. And at that point, this little section that says EDDI providers will go away, and you will be prompted to just use that full contact form, fill in the information, and we will have a secure database behind the scenes, allowing us to gather a referral for a family in regard to family support. Watch for that in your e-newsletter for providers. It'll be coming soon. Lastly, if you want to just reach out to us directly, as you probably know, Tammy O'Halloran is the Iowa EDDI Director at the Bureau of Family Health, and her information is listed on this slide, as well as mine, Karen Thompson. I'm the EDDI Project Director and Executive Director of Ask Resource Center. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation about EDDI family support, why it's important, what it is, and how to refer. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day.